How positivity can save and enrich your 7 key relationships. In this video, first let's define what those 7 key relationships are, and then I'll show you how positivity can literally save any of them. So what are our 7 key relationships? I've come up with this list based on 30 years of clinical experience and over half a century on the planet. And I'll totally own that the order I'm sharing these with you is my opinion. But I think I've earned my opinion too. So listen up and see if you agree. Here's our 7 key relationships. Number 1 is your creator. Now, I'm not here as your spiritual guide or guru. I'm not your priest or your rabbi. I'm here to acknowledge that most humans need to come to terms with what their source is. And different people understand this in different ways. But this is our first key relationship. It gives context to all of the others. Number 2, yourself. Now, some people skip over this one. They don't even realize that it's a relationship. And then they go out there and they're kind and compassionate and caring and forgiving to everyone except for one, where they are cruel and harsh and judgmental right here at home. You have a relationship with yourself. I remember someone asking me years ago, hey, if I treated you the way you treat you, would we still be friends? It's a pretty good question to consider. That's our second key relationship. Number 3 is your spouse or partner. This is the most important family relationship that you have. I really do believe as humans we are social beings and all of these relationships are important. When I mention your key relationship, which one comes to mind? Usually it's your spouse or life partner. Yeah, that's why we're putting it at this level. Now, I've given you 2 ahead of that, your creator and yourself. But then our next most important relationship is that one, our spouse. What comes after spouse? Children. Now, you may or may not have children. If you do, this is where they fall in the lineup. And I invite you to notice something right here. I put spouse before children. I spent 13 years of my career doing child custody evaluations for the court. Bitter, angry, divorcing people who can't figure out how to share their kids. And there are reasons why I put it in this order. When spouses are not taking care of their relationship, it becomes disruptive for the children. And you look at how important your children are to you, but eventually your job as a parent is to work your way out of a job. And they go off and find their own spouse or partner. So that's why I'm listing them in the order. And notice I'm not saying that children are not important. They made the list. But I am saying that we get to take them in this order for a lot of good reasons. Your 5th key relationship, remember I promised you 7, but number 5 is extended family. Notice there's a little difference in the relationship that you have with your kids versus the relationship you have with siblings or parents or uncles and aunts, cousins. And I think close friends might fall into this level as well. This is where the relationship is obviously still very important, but there's a different quality there than you have with your children, including the responsibility that you have to take care of your children. This is where extended family falls. After extended family comes other people outside of your family or outside of your immediate circles of intimacy. This includes people at the office, people in the community, maybe people in your church or synagogue, starving children in Africa. They all make the list. They're all important. They're not as important as your family. And then finally, number 7 is things. Wait, can you have a relationship with things? Yes, we call it stewardship. This has to do with the property, including money and other things that come into your life. You have a relationship with those. Now, I've put them in this order for a lot of good reasons. I have seen people who have turned the list upside down and money is the most important thing to them, God is the least important, and family falls somewhere in between. I've never seen that work very successfully in creating a happy existence. There are a lot of reasons why I put them in this order. So you got the 7 keys? Now that we've defined those 7 key relationships, let's look at positivity and how positivity can literally save any of these. There are 2 important parts to positivity from a psychological perspective that impact all 7 of our key relationships. Now, we have to get past the trite, fluffy, just think positive that you hear from motivational speakers out there, to the science and the psychology behind positivity. What is it and how does it work? I'm going to share a powerful psychological model with you, and if you'd like a copy of this model, go to the URL on the screen, drpauljenkins.com/themodel, and I will give you a full color PDF version of the model that I'm referring to. There are 2 important components to this model. And the first component of positivity is evaluation. When you look at the graphic there on the screen, it is what it is. And this can be kind of annoying depending on who's saying it and why. But the what it is on this model simply represents where you are right now without changing anything. It is what it is. What is your brain doing with it? It's evaluating. Judging what it is. You can't turn this off. Notice that you are constantly judging yourself, your spouse, your children, everyone on your list of those key relationships, you're judging. Now, evaluation or judgment implies comparison. So compared to what, right? Here's a trick question. For example, if you're married, how's your marriage? Now, you'll notice I called it a trick question. Why? Because your marriage is what it is. If we go back to that graphic, your marriage is right there in the middle of that continuum, that spectrum. It is what it is. Now notice this. To judge it, you have to compare it to something, some standard. And if you don't have a standard, you're going to make one up. So when I said it's a trick question, how's your marriage? Your brain is going to come up with your imagination of what it could be or might be or should be, and you're going to compare your marriage to that and come up with your evaluation, your judgment. Now, when we compare what we have to something better or our imagination of how it should be or could be, how do we feel about what we've got? Yeah, do you notice it? We're not very satisfied with it. Now, what if we compare it to something worse? Well, then suddenly we feel a little better about what we've got. Let me give you a simple example of how this actually works. I remember one client coming to see me about his marriage. Okay, that's one of our 7 key relationships, right? And he came in and he started talking about how my wife does this and my wife does that and my wife is not doing this and my wife is not doing that, and going on and on and on. Well, I stopped him at some point because I wanted him to see his evaluation of this. And I stopped him by saying, wait, you have a wife? And he rolled his eyes a little bit. He's like, well, yeah, haven't you been listening? I wanted him to pause on that and just notice that what if he were to compare his situation to not having a wife, not having a spouse at all? Oh, well, okay. Then he can feel grateful for a moment that he has a wife. An even more severe example of this, I was interviewing a young man on my podcast who had no arms and no legs. The title of that episode was No Arms, No Legs, No Problem. I remember a time when I sprained my ankle and I was thinking, oh, my foot hurts. And then I remembered this young man. And I pictured him saying to me, what? You have a foot? Okay, you with me? So you can always imagine something better or something worse. How we judge or evaluate our key relationships gives us a starting point. And notice this too. What if we want to improve things And we do. I'm getting to that next. What's the shortest distance to better? If we start from, this is good, or if we start from, this sucks. You get to choose your position based on the model that I just shared with you. The next way positivity is going to help us is as we move to the next mode. This is creation. Creation of what is to be. And that doesn't exist yet. We haven't created it yet. We're going to use the energy that we started with in evaluation mode to move forward into creation mode and go make an upgrade. Is that all we could make? No, you could downgrade it too. Think about it. What if I gave you an assignment or a challenge to somehow go in the next half hour, go make your marriage worse? Would you ever do that? On purpose, I mean, we do it accidentally all the time. You would never do that, but look how quickly your brain can come up with half a dozen ways to pull that off. You've got the power to make a mess. Have you noticed? Connect with that. Because this is actually good news. If you can make a mess, then you can make. And that's good news. Now, what you're going to make is determined by how you move forward in creation mode. You could just as easily come up with half a dozen ways to make your marriage better. And that's just one of our 7 key relationships. What I'm sharing with you today is the operating instructions for the equipment of your own mind. Can you save and enrich your 7 key relationships? Absolutely. How are you going to do it? Through evaluating first and creating second the thing that you want to create. It's totally possible through these principles of positive psychology. I hope that this has given you a few ideas of where to start. Remember to grab that model that I promised you, drpauljenkins.com/themodel. Let's go apply this and see if we can make a difference in all 7 of our key relationships.